positioned right in front of us. We get to look at it here from 10, 12 feet away. This car is a 1958 550A Porsche, a race car from Porsche, and it's Steve Terrian's quest that consumed him for the better part of 30 years. They call this the Giant Killer.
I really loved the 550A mainly because it was the last car to have the commended body styling. Knowing that it was built in very, very low numbers, was very highly collectible even back in the early 70s. So I started looking for a Spider. I looked throughout Europe, I looked throughout the US for a 550A or 550. Couldn't find anything for 3 years. Eventually I got a call from a gentleman by the name of Jim Wellington down in the Bay Area. He said, get on a plane, there's 2 of them available for sale now. While I had restored several 356 Porsches, all of the Carrera vintage 4-cam cars, this would be my greatest challenge. Of course, researching the history of these cars is also a major part of the hobby. I learned a lot about this particular car as having a great background. The term giant killers came around because they were able to go up against much larger displacement cars such as Ferrari, Mercedes, and be very successful at it. The 550A, when it first came from the factory, the first one, in 1956, they sent it to Targa Florio. It won outright by 15 minutes. Herbert Case was the race manager for the Piaget family in Salzburg. He was also the nephew of Ferdinand Porsche. He was the one that entrusted the driving of this car to Ernest Vogel. He was a concert pianist, but then on weekends, basically put all that aside, put on a helmet, put on goggles, got behind the wheel, and went out and kicked some ass. It has taken me 34 years of loving hard work to get 550A-0141 back to its present condition. All of the inner panels have been redone, the exterior panels as well, using an original 550A as a template in which they built a wooden body buck from and used that as a reference point or tool to then contour all of their panels from. Transported it to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, where Bill Doyle took on responsibility for all the mechanicals of the car. Engine, transmission, all the hydraulics, braking system, you name it, anything mechanical, Bill was hands-on completing all of that side of the restoration. And he did a beautiful job. The wheels are 4.5-inch lightweight wheels, riveted. There are 5 of them. The steering wheel is a VDM 550A steering wheel. Most everything else that you see in this car at one time was original to a 550A or to this specific car. And again, I've left certain things undone so that others can enjoy really what I enjoy, the skeletal view of a sports car. Anybody that gets in this car is going to feel like they just put it on like a shirt. You feel the road, you feel every little bump, little stone in the road that you may cross over. You feel everything in the car. I think it's time to move on for me. I have other cars yet that I'd like to enjoy, but I would hope that the next purchaser looks at it as a piece of artwork. There is a tremendous amount of hours, time, travels that have gone into the restoration of this car. And I just hope that the new owners can appreciate that.
Well, the restoration is immaculate. The race history of this car is ironclad, and I think, John, everybody's wondering what in the world this car might go for at auction.
Mecum has a title, Scott, as a main attraction, and that is meaning something with all these great cars. This could very well be the top seller at this auction. What are we expecting? Somewhere around $5 million.
Oh, that's just mind-boggling. Right now, let's go over and check in again with Bill Stevens for a look at another significant Porsche. Bill?
Yeah, in the minds of many, this may be the most perfect small-bore sports car ever built. 1965 Porsche 356 SC Cabriolet. The 356 series began back in the 1940s, so this was a long-playing show, 65 the last year before it was succeeded by the eternal 911. Come around here. Slide into the interior, if you will. Look at that sumptuous black leather, the engine-turned wood-rim steering wheel, and this is a radio delete car. Look at the radio delete plate, installed so perfectly by Tom Drummond and his gang down in Costa Mesa, California, one of the top Porsche restorers in the entire country. Triple black underneath there, 1600cc four-cylinder. That could be a giant killer. 107 horsepower brings this car to 125 miles an hour. Stickered for a little over $4,000 a little more than 50 years ago. It has gone 100 times higher than that on the value scale. We'll see this thing sell here in Monterey perhaps for over $300,000. Stephen Cox.
The Porsche 918 etched its name in history by becoming the first ever street-legal production car to break the 7-minute lap record at the legendary Nürburgring. This is a 2015 Porsche 918 Spider. Porsche pulled out all the stops in the making of this car. It has 3 power sources. One you would expect, a piston 4.6-liter engine. It's an amazing engine that puts out 608 horsepower, but that's not all. Porsche added 2 electric motors. This is a genuine hybrid hypercar. The electric motors combine for another 279 horses, so the 918 puts out a total of 887 horsepower. It's been tested at 217 miles an hour, and the original base price on the 918 was $850,000, but you know, inflation and all, it'll take 1.8 mil to drive it home from Monterey.
And thank you very much. We will have more on our preview from Monterey.